So in the series of learning Python programming language, in the last video we have seen while loop. Till now we have discussed loops in Python, for and while loop. There is no do while loop in Python, two loops, for and while loop. These we have discussed. Now, as we know the execution of loops, means why we need loops actually. If you want that some statements or a block of code, you want to execute that code repeatedly multiple times, then you can put that code into a loop, either for loop or while loop, and those lines would be executed again and again, right? Like until a specific condition is satisfied and all, right? The working you know very well. So if you have, like here we have loop, while or do while loop, and within this block I am having statement 1, like statement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements in this block. All the 5s are obviously indented. So if the condition is true, we will enter here, then this condition would be executed, then this, then this, then this, then this, then again next iteration, then next iteration, then all the 5 conditions like this. If this condition is false, then exit from the loop. Something like this we are having, right? Now if you want to change this flow of execution of this loop, if you want to change it from its normal way, this is normal execution, its normal way, then we use some control statements. See, as the name suggests, loop control statements means with the help of these statements, basically these statements help us to gain better control on our loop, right? That is why they are known as loop control statements. They can control the loop, control the way of execution of the loop. So 3 basically loop control statements are there: break, continue and pass in Python. So these we'll be discussing in this video with the help of programs, and practically I'll show you, right? Now see, there are some situation when you want to exit from the loop completely. When an external condition triggered, then you want to exit the loop completely, right? So in that case we use break. For that we have a statement, control statement break. Or sometimes you want to skip a section of the loop or skip some part of the loop and start the next iteration. In that case also, for that also we have a control statement, continue. Sometimes we want to do nothing, and then we have pass. Okay, that's sound weird. If you want to do nothing, then use pass statement. What is the use of this pass? Okay, this thing we will get with the help of program, right? Now I hope you have now the basic idea of these 3 statements, right? Let's discuss these statements one by one. First we'll be seeing break. So this control statement can be used only within for and while loop, right? As the name suggests, break means exit from the loop immediately. And once the program encounters this break statement, whatever statement you have written right after the loop body, that would be executed, right? Okay, what is the syntax? Simply you will write break, that's it, right? Like in for, we have a for loop, and I have written some code here, 1 or 2 or line, I don't know how many lines. Then suppose a condition occurs. If I have some condition, and if this condition is true, there I am using break, and here I have some more code. And after this, see, this is what block, these lines are within this for loop, right? And out of this for loop, suppose we have like outside loop, outside of loop. So if this we are entering in the loop, then this code would be executed. Then if this condition is true, in that case we will enter here, the control will enter here and break. Break means exit from this loop. So these statements would not be executed, right? Because these are also part of this loop, and even though this condition is true, here it can be for loop or while loop, right? Both the loops can be there. Even though this condition is true, here whatever you have written, still break will cause out of the loop. You have to exit from the loop right now. So these statements would not be executed, the remaining statement, and whatever statement you will write right after this loop body, those would be executed. This is what simply meaning of break, right? Okay, let's understand this thing with the help of flowchart. Suppose we are entering into a loop, entry loop. So here we are having a test. Suppose some condition or expression we are having. Okay. If this condition is true, the two cases can be there, true or false. If false, then simply exit from the loop. Exit from loop, not exit from program, right? If this condition is true, and then we check if there is a break or not. Maybe some statement would be executed, then would be checked break or not. If yes, then exit from the loop. If no break, then the remaining loop body would be executed. Means remaining means here we have some more code, so this would be executed. So this would be executed, and then again here. So this is, you can say, it's like a flow chart of break. You can understand the working of this break statement with the help of this flow chart, I guess. Okay, now let me show you this thing with the help of two programs, how we can use this break within while loop, within for loop, as well as within nested loop. Right? Let's see. So let's create a new file here, loop control statements.py. Okay. Let's first we will be discussing now break. So let's see with with while loop. First we will see this one. Okay, simple example, we will be taking while like count less than equal to 10, want to print, I want to print the count value, right? But if once the count value becomes like if this count equal to 7, then break. Okay, and still one more statement I am printing here like hi, and out of the loop I am printing one more statement out from loop. Simple example, right? In previous video also we have discussed this thing. So let's run this and I'll show you what output you will get here. See, 1 high, 2 high, then 3, again high would be printed, 4, 5, 6. Once 6, the control, the value becomes 6. So first it will print 6. It will print 6, and then this statement 6 plus 1 is 7. Now if condition would be checked, 7 count equal to 7, yes, condition true. Then break. Break means just exit from this loop. So this print high, this would not be executed, right? Whatever the statement immediately you have written after this loop body, that is this one, that would be executed out from loop, right? So this is how break would work. In for loop also we can use this thing, or in nested loop also we can use this thing. So let's see one with nested loop. I am using two for loop, nested for loop. So if first thing I am having, suppose two list. So list 1. Okay, so I'll be having two list. In list 1 I'm having like hi, hello, welcome, and in second is names, 3 name I'm having Krishna, Ram and Madhav. So one for loop, like I want to print something like this, hi Krishna, hi Ram, hi Madhav, then hello Krishna, hello Ram, hello Madhav, then welcome Krishna, welcome Ram, welcome Madhav, like this. So for that, one for loop. Two nested loop we will use. So for any variable name, suppose item in list 1, right? And one more for loop here for one variable name, I am taking name in names. See the difference, names, and here item name I am taking just name. So simply we will be printing print item comma whatever the name is, right? But within this inner for loop I am writing one condition, if like this item equal to hello, and suppose name equal to Ram. If this is the condition, then break. After this, after from outside of these 4 loops, nested loops, from this loop, outside of the loop body, just after these nested loops, I am just printing print out from loop, right? Or for better understanding, let's do one thing. See, this within this inner for loop, we have these 3 statements. So outside of this for loop, from this inner for loop, I am writing one statement, print out from inner loop, right? And this is the statement, out from outer loop. This is out from inner loop here, and this is out from outer loop, right? So let's run this and see what output you will get here. See, first see, the list 1 would be replaced with this complete list, hi, hello, welcome. So first, what is the working of for loop? Hi would be assigned to item, right? Hi in this list, yes, condition true, enter here. Then one more for loop. Then in names, rather than names, we have Krishna, Ram, Madhav. So firstly, in name I am having Krishna. So Krishna in names, yes, condition true, both the condition true, enter here. Then it will print item. Item is hi and name value is now Krishna. So it will print hi Krishna, right? As you can see. Now, see, this condition is satisfied? No. Then no break, right? Then obviously we are within the inner loop, so we are not out from this inner loop. So again, now next time in names, Ram would be assigned, so it will print hi Ram. Still this condition is not true. So in names, still we have Madhav, so it will print hi Madhav. Check this condition, not satisfied, so no break, right? Now end of the list. End of the list means we are now out from this inner loop, so it will print out from inner loop, but we are still within this outer loop. So next time, now hello would be assigned to this item, right? And for hello, same condition, same, that would be repeated, same process would be repeated, right? So first of all, hello Krishna, then hello Ram, but this time this condition is also satisfied. Item is hello and name is Ram, yes, condition is satisfied. Now break. So here what you have to understand is, break means it's not like that out from both the loops. No, this break is we are using within this inner loop. Obviously this inner loop is within this outer loop, but the nearest loop to this break is this inner loop. So we are out from the inner loop only, not from outer loop. So it will not print now hello Madhav. It will simply break, exit from this inner loop. So it will print out from inner loop, out from inner loop. But we are still in outer loop. So next it will print same list 1, welcome would be assigned. So for welcome also same condition, same would be repeated. Welcome Krishna, then Ram, then Madhav. Then out from inner loop, out from outer loop. So I hope you would, if you use this break within nested loop, means we will be out from the nearest loop. So if break is within this inner loop, so we are out from inner loop only, not from outer loop. So in for loop also we can use a break, something like this. So I hope you got these two examples of break statement. Next is continue. So the next statement is continue. Continue is, you can say, it's opposite of break statement. Break means exit from the loop. Continue means continue with the next iteration, right? Not exit from the loop, continue with, but with the next iteration. Like this, same example if I take, here we have maybe for loop or while loop. Okay, same example, like this is what? A block within this for loop or while loop. I don't know, any loop you can take. So what is the flow chart or working of this continue statement? If suppose anyhow the condition is true, or within for loop, maybe for I in list or anything, if this something we have entered into this loop, condition is true, satisfied, so that is why we have entered into this loop, code would be executed. Then some specific condition, external condition would be triggered. If this condition is true, then enter here and it will find continue. In the previous case, break means outside of the loop here, but here we have continue. Continue means whatever statement is written just after this continue, within this loop, within this block of the loop, those would be skipped and it will, control will go at the beginning of the loop, means the next iteration would be executed. I hope you got the working. Right? Okay, let's, the same flow chart, we are having same, like we are having the test condition or that test expression after entering into the loop, entry loop. Okay, so after entering the loop, test, the condition would be checked. If this is true, enter into the loop. If false, then simply exit from loop, right? And again, we'll check if within this loop we have any continue statement. If yes, then control will go at the beginning of the loop. Just skip the remaining body of the loop, the remaining body, right? Means we have written some more code, so this would not be executed. Control will go here and next iteration would be started. So here we have remaining loop body. If yes, then continue. If no, then this body would be executed and then obviously again the next iteration. So this is the flowchart of continue. I hope now you can figure out the difference between the break statement and continue statement with the help of this flowchart, right? Let's discuss this with the help of program, the same example we have taken with break. Then you will get it better, the difference between break and continue. Okay, so let's take this example, same example here, count from 1 to 10, right? But here rather than break, just replace this with continue just to see the difference what will happen. So if count is equal to 7, then continue, right? Continue means once the program, the control find continue, it will skip whatever you have written just after this continue within this loop and it will start with the next iteration. It will go from into the beginning of the loop, at the beginning of the loop, right? Okay, let's run this. See what output you will get here. 1, then high would be printed. See, count is 1, condition true, it will print 1, then count becomes 2, then this condition true, no. So after this we have one more statement within this loop, high, so that would also be executed, then 1, high. Again, now count value becomes 2, so condition would be checked, 2 printed, count becomes 3, condition satisfied, no, then high would be printed. So 1, then high, then 2, then high, then 3, high, 4, high, 5, high. Now 6, after 6, see there is no high, after 7 it's high. So once it will print 6, then count plus 1, count becomes what? 7 now. Count becomes 7. Now check this condition. Next statement is count equal to 7. Yes, condition true. Continue. Continue means it will skip whatever statement you have written just after continue within this loop. So only one statement is there, high, within this loop. So this would be skipped and it will continue with the next iteration. Right? So after 6, no high would be printed. It will go to the here, beginning of the loop. Now at this point of time count value is 7. So 7, condition true, yes. So it will print 7 directly. Now 7 after this count becomes 8, so this condition is not true, so then high would be printed. Okay, it will not exit from the loop. If there is break, then here it will exit from here. After 6, it will print directly out from loop, but it will, this while loop will go till 10 and then out from loop. So I hope now you got the difference between continue and break statement. If you want to exit from the loop completely based on some external condition, use break. If you want to skip only some part of the loop, here I have skipped this part of the loop. If this condition is satisfied, skip this part. If you want to skip or bypass a section of the loop and continue with the next iteration, then just use continue statement, right? Like the same thing you can do with for loop also, something like this. Like I have 4, I in range is from 1 to 10 I want to print. So 1 to 11 I should take. So if I value equal to 7, then continue, else simply print I value. That's it. Let's run this. Okay, we haven't printed high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 is not printed, 8, 9, 10. So if you want to print number from 1 to 10 but not 7, then this something like this. If I is equal to 7, simply continue. Continue means this part would not be executed, print I, right? And just continue with the next iteration, right? So I becomes now 8 and 8 will be printed, something like this. So let's see now pass statement. Okay, so the next one is pass. Pass means do nothing, means it's like a null operation. Like say, let's take one real life example. If there is sale going on, right, on Flipkart or Amazon, any website, and right now I don't need any, let's say, kurti, right, or any top or any kurti right now. But if there is sale like 50% off, then I'll purchase that. Maybe in future I can use that kurti. So right now I don't need that one, means it has nothing to do with me, the kurti, but I still purchase that one for future reference, right? In future I'll wear that kurti. Yeah, I know that is not a good idea, it's waste of money, but it's just an example. So same, maybe this we can in future maybe I want to use a function, right? But right now I don't know what is the working of that function. So to define an empty function we can use pass. To define an empty loop we can use pass, right? Something like this. If I have a for loop, for I in range 5, I want to use this loop in future, but I don't know what to do in this loop. Right now I don't know. So if you leave it something like this, then it will give indentation error, because after this colon it will need an indented block. So you have to write down something. So simply write down here pass. Means nothing to do with this loop right now, it's an empty loop. But in future I can replace this pass, this statement, with some meaningful statements according to my need, right? So it's like just a, you can say, placeholder for future, right? If you want to define an empty function, then also you can use, although we haven't discussed function, but no, this is a simple example how to define def function name, suppose function 1, and I don't know what to do with this function in future, but I want this function in future, but right now I don't know what to do with this function. So I cannot leave this simply like this because it will give error. So pass means it's an empty function. Future I can replace this pass statement with some meaningful statement. Like in future, maybe in the program in future I can replace this pass with simply print hi. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, just an example. So I have replaced this with some statement, right? So I hope you got it, why we use this pass control statement. Let's discuss this with the help of example program. I'll show you practically. Okay, so let's see this example only. I have for written an empty loop for I in range this, but I don't know right now that I want to do something like this. I don't know what to do. Like I want to do something, but that something right now I don't know. In future I'll replace this do something with something meaningful. So I want to write down right now an empty loop. So for empty loop, we cannot leave this something like this because it will give an error. If I run this, there would be indentation error. After this 4, expected indented block. So what is the thing? right thing for this, just use this control statement pass. Let's run this. It will print nothing. See, it's an empty loop, right? Or same here also. Let me just do this thing. If count equal to 7, I don't know what to do here. Right now I don't know. If count is 7, I want to continue, or I want to break, or I want to do something else. I don't know right now, but in future I'll replace this thing with something. So I cannot leave this something like this. It will give error. Obviously it will give error. So pass. Pass means just pass it. Do nothing. Right? So here it will do nothing. It will simply print 1 to 10 and high, obviously 1 high, 2 high, 3 high, like this, 1 to 10 and high and out from loop. So what is use of this condition here? Right now nothing. Maybe you will say like just remove these two statements. Now why you are writing this thing? Because it is simply working off this while loop. But maybe in future I want this if statement here and I want to do something. So just for reference, just it's a placeholder, just a placeholder, right? Like I will do nothing, just pass it. If you want to, define like there is a function, and suppose in that function I want to call another function, but right now I am not sure what is that calling function will do, right? So you can simply pass that thing, right? To write down an empty class or empty control statement, empty loop, empty function, empty method, you can use this pass. I hope now you got what is the meaning of this pass statement here. Okay, like if you want to define an empty function, just def and function name, suppose function 1, here this, but I don't know what this function should do right now, so let's do pass here. If you do something like this, it will give error. If you keep it something like this, it will give indentation error, indented block after this function, expected indented block after this function. So just use pass statement, it will not give any error. So in future you can replace this pass statement with some meaningful code, 1 2 3 4 5 6 lines of code. I don't know how many lines of code, I don't know what this function will do in future, but yeah, I will use this function in future, that is for sure. Or maybe you can delete this later. So I hope now you got what is break, continue and pass statement. So I hope you got the working of these three loop control statement, break, continue, pass, and how to use them and all, the difference between these three. So now I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.